If you're over 60 or you love someone who is, this could be the most important thing you hear today. For warning signs, subtle, quiet, often brushed aside, can mean the difference between life and the silence that comes when no one sees it coming. Most people ignore them. They shrug, they wait, they hope it's nothing. But you won't. Not after today. Maybe you're someone who's starting over. Not in your 20s, not with wide-eyed dreams, but in your 60s, maybe even 70s. Maybe after a divorce that shattered what you thought was forever. Maybe after retirement left you feeling like a stranger in your own skin. Or maybe after decades of holding everyone else together, now you're finally just trying to figure yourself out. You've already survived heartbreak, loss, change. You've made it through things that would have broken a weaker person. So the last thing you need right now is to be caught off guard by something you didn't even know was creeping in. These warning signs, these 4, don't come loudly. They won't shout at you. They won't knock on your door. They come slowly, wrapped in what feels like everyday life. A little more tired than usual. A little more forgetful. A strange feeling in your chest you blame on that second cup of coffee. But they matter. They are the signs that something isn't right. And too many women, too many strong, resilient, beautiful women, ignore them. Until it's too late. Today we're going to talk about these 4 red flags. Not in a scary way. Not to make you panic. But to give you the awareness that could save your life or the life of someone you love. We'll talk about fatigue that doesn't go away. We'll talk about weight changes that seem like a blessing but hide something else. We'll talk about that breathless feeling you've started to brush off. And we'll talk about changes in your mind, your memory, your spirit that too many women keep secret. This isn't about fear. It's about power. Your power. Let's begin. Sign number 2. Sudden or unexplained weight loss. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you stepped on a scale and noticed the number had dropped? And you didn't really know why? I mean, maybe at first it felt like a small victory. You weren't dieting. You weren't exercising any differently. But the pounds just started coming off. Clothes fit looser. Maybe a friend or a neighbor even said, "Wow, you're looking great." And you smiled politely, maybe even proudly. But deep down, did it feel a little strange? Unexplained weight loss is one of those things that can sneak past you. You think, oh, maybe I've been eating less without realizing it, or maybe it's just stress. But when your body loses 5, 10, 15 pounds and you didn't ask it to, your body is talking to you. And it's time to listen. Let me tell you about Maria. She's 72, a widow, lives alone. Keeps her place tidy, loves watching her cooking shows, and always had a bit of a sweet tooth. About a year ago, she noticed she wasn't hungry as much. Her jeans started slipping down her hips. 18 pounds gone. Just like that. She didn't complain, if anything, she was secretly pleased. But then she began having these little cramps. A tug here, a burn there. She thought it was indigestion, maybe from eating late. She went to the doctor just to be safe. And thank God she did. Because what she thought was a simple digestive issue turned out to be stage 2 colon cancer. Quiet, creeping, hidden behind what looked like progress. Now, I want you to take a breath. This isn't about scaring you. It's about opening your eyes gently. Because Maria's story is not rare. In fact, according to the CDC and data from the National Institutes of Health, sudden, unintended weight loss is often one of the first signs of an underlying health condition. Ranging from cancer to thyroid issues to diabetes. Have you noticed it yourself? Maybe the belt hole you used to struggle with now slides on too easily. Maybe your face looks thinner in the mirror. You tell yourself you're just aging. But aging doesn't make your body shed pounds without cause. Think back over the past 6 months. Have you lost 5% of your body weight without changing anything in your diet or activity? That's roughly 7 to 10 pounds for many women. It may seem small, but it's enough to matter. Don't ignore it. Please don't. Here's what I want you to do, simple steps. Keep a little weight journal. You don't have to track every bite. Just jot down your weight once a week. Look for patterns. Does the number keep dropping? If it does, ask your doctor for a full panel, a GI checkup, a cancer screening, and blood tests for thyroid and glucose levels. Even if they find nothing, you'll have peace of mind. But if they do catch something early, that decision could give you years more with the people you love. And if you've ever found yourself standing in the mirror, pulling at the waist of your pants, wondering, why are these so loose? Don't brush that off. Your body is not trying to confuse you. It's asking for help. The next warning sign we'll talk about is even more common. In fact, it's so common that many doctors don't even look twice when women bring it up. But you and I? We're going to take it seriously. Stay with me. Sign number 3, shortness of breath or chest discomfort. Let me ask you something honest. Have you ever been walking up the stairs, just one flight, and suddenly you're short of breath? Or maybe you've been sitting still, watching TV or reading a book, and out of nowhere, there's this tightness in your chest. Not painful exactly, just uncomfortable, heavy, like someone pressing gently, but firmly, right over your heart. You tell yourself it's nothing. Maybe it's something you ate. Gas, stress, anxiety. We've all done it, pushed it aside, moved on. But here's the thing. Not all heart attacks look like the ones in movies. They don't always come with crushing pain or dramatic clutching of the chest. In women, especially women over 60, it can feel like heartburn, or a vague sense of pressure, or even like you're just having a bad day. And that's exactly what happened to Catherine. Catherine is 66. She's the kind of woman who doesn't like to complain. She raised 4 kids, worked part-time, and helped care for her aging parents. She's used to powering through things. One evening after dinner, she felt a little pressure in her chest. Nothing sharp, just this strange fullness, like she'd eaten too much. She took an antacid and kept going. The next day it came again, this time while she was folding laundry. Still, she didn't stop. Just a little gas, she told herself. It wasn't until the 3rd day, when she felt a wave of nausea and her arms felt strangely heavy, that she told her daughter. They went to the hospital. The EKG showed she had suffered a silent heart attack. One that could have killed her. One that almost did. Now, I know it's uncomfortable to think about this, but it's more uncomfortable not to. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women over 60. Not cancer. Not stroke. Heart disease. According to the American Heart Association, women are more likely than men to die from their first heart attack, often because the symptoms don't look like what we expect, or we're conditioned to dismiss them. So I want to ask you now, have you felt pressure, even slight, in your chest or back? Maybe when you're walking fast, or when you're anxious, or even when you're just lying down. Have you found yourself getting winded doing things you used to do without thinking? Grocery shopping, climbing stairs, tidying the house. Your body is giving you signals. It doesn't shout. It whispers. But that whisper can grow louder until it's too late to respond. So what do you do? First, see a cardiologist, especially if heart disease runs in your family. Don't wait for a dramatic moment. Go now when you feel mostly okay. Ask for an ECG or stress test. These are simple, non-invasive tools that can pick up on issues before they become emergencies. Second, start tracking your symptoms. You don't have to journal every detail, but when you feel that tightness, write down the time, what you were doing, and how long it lasted. Was it after climbing stairs? While you were resting? Under stress? Patterns can be life-saving. And please don't ignore your intuition. You know your body better than anyone. If something feels off, don't minimize it. This isn't about living in fear. It's about living informed, living strong. You've made it this far in life. Not by luck, but by strength, by resilience. But even the strongest hearts need care. And speaking of hearts, there's one final warning sign I need to share with you. One that almost every older woman will experience at some point. Yet barely anyone talks about it. It's quiet. It's emotional. And it's often mistaken for just getting older. But it's not. And it matters more than you think. Don't go anywhere. Sign number 4, cognitive changes or emotional detachment. Let me ask you something that might feel a little personal. Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you've picked up your phone, stared at the screen, and for a few seconds, just seconds, you couldn't remember who you were about to call? Maybe that's not even the hardest part. Maybe it's this growing sense that you're not quite yourself anymore. That spark is dimmed. That joy you used to feel in small things. Your morning cup of tea, your favorite song on the radio, the laughter of your grandkids. It just doesn't hit the same. And you wonder, is this just getting older? But what if it's not just that? Let me tell you about Dorothy. She's 70. Sharp as a tack, or so she used to be. She ran her household, remembered every birthday in the family, even knew all the neighbors' names on her street. But something changed. Slowly, she started forgetting little things. First, it was her keys. Then her appointments. Then one day, she couldn't remember the name of her best friend from church, someone she'd known for over 40 years. But what frightened her daughter more wasn't the forgetfulness. It was how little Dorothy seemed to care. She stopped coming to Bible study. She stopped answering phone calls. She didn't laugh at the same old jokes. She'd sit at the table during dinner and stare through the window like she wasn't even there. Eventually, they got her in to see a doctor. Early onset Alzheimer's and depression. Both. Intertwined. Silent. Dangerous. Now listen to me, this isn't meant to scare you. But it is meant to shake you gently with love, because you need to know that memory loss, confusion, irritability, and emotional numbness are not just part of aging. Yes, aging brings changes. But forgetting your child's name? Feeling like life no longer holds meaning? That's not aging. That's a signal. One that 2 out of 3 women may face, because Alzheimer's disproportionately affects women. And mental health? It's underdiagnosed, especially in older adults. You've spent your life being the strong one, the rock, the problem solver. You've had to hold it all together, often without being asked how you were doing. But your brain needs care, just like your heart, just like your bones. So let's talk about what you can actually do. First, ask your doctor for a cognitive screening. It's not invasive. It's not painful. It's just a few questions, a simple test, and it can spot early warning signs long before the serious symptoms set in. Second, prioritize your mental health. That means therapy, support groups, even a regular phone call with someone you trust. You don't have to carry things alone anymore. Not now. Not ever again. Third, protect your brain like the treasure it is. Omega-3s, those healthy fats from salmon, walnuts, flaxseed, support brain function. Good sleep, real rest, not just lying in bed worrying, helps the brain clear out toxins. And social connection, genuine human connection, is one of the most powerful protective tools against cognitive decline. I want you to pause right now and ask yourself, have I felt more irritable lately? Do I feel joyless? Forgetful? Numb? So please don't push it aside. Please don't say, it's just life. You deserve clarity. You deserve happiness. You deserve to feel like you again. And if any of this sounds familiar, if you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, I just don't feel like myself anymore, drop a green heart in the comments. Not for me. For you. For others who might scroll through and realize they're not alone either. Because you're not. You're never alone in this. There's a whole world of women who are feeling what you're feeling. And together we get stronger. Now, as we bring this all together, let's talk about what all these signs really mean. And what you can do starting today to reclaim your peace, your strength, and your purpose. Keep listening. You're not just aging. You're evolving. You're not disappearing into the background, you're stepping into the most unapologetic version of yourself. The one who has nothing to prove and everything still to feel. And the truth is, recognizing these signs, those whispers from your body, is not about living in fear. It's about living in power. It's about listening to yourself deeply, maybe for the first time in decades. You've made it through heartbreak, through betrayal, through the long nights after loss when it felt like no one saw you. You've rebuilt after divorce. You've kept smiling through the quiet after the kids left. You've stared in the mirror and wondered where the time went and still found the strength to show up for your life. So don't stop now. This chapter you're in, it's not the end. It's not the falling off. It's the rising, the becoming. You are wiser, softer, and stronger than you've ever been, and now you're armed with something even more powerful: awareness. When you know what to look for at the breathlessness, the unexpected weight loss, the shifts in memory or emotion, you are no longer helpless. You are in partnership with your body. You are in alignment with your life. You are choosing to live awake. And let me tell you something, it is never ever too late to begin again. So I want you to pause for a second. Put your hand on your chest, right there over your heart. Do you feel that? That's life. That's you. Still here. Still beating. Still becoming. Now honor that. Listen to it. Choose life. And if any of these signs we talked about tonight have been showing up for you, maybe slowly, maybe just once or twice, please don't keep it to yourself. Talk to your doctor. Talk to someone you trust. And if you feel moved, talk to us. Leave a comment below. Share your experience. You never know who might read your words and realize they're not the only one. That kind of connection, that honest soul-to-soul encouragement, it heals. So if any of what we shared tonight felt familiar, I invite you. Tell us in the comments. You'll help more women than you realize. And if you truly believe that life after 60 still matters, that it thrives with meaning, growth, and beauty, then like this video, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next.